This achievement.
Research here that employs Americans and keeps our drugs produced safely. You want to know when you take that drug is made in America, overseen by the FDA, and it is safe. So the president not only is driving prices down,
Hola, everyone. Welcome back to the trading show here at Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be guiding you through the charts today. I'm excited to be here, man. Banged some Bitcoin shorts this morning. I'm going to show you guys what I did here. This was me on Coinbase. And so, few trades. I took a pretty good size L yesterday. But here are the ones that I got in today from 12.19. Got in Bitcoin at 87,905. Got out at 86,963. I think this was a $1,200 trade that I banked. Then we had a 87,000. Wait. No, 87,250. Here we go. Entered into a Bitcoin short at 87,250. It hit my trailing stop loss at 87,063. I think that trade me like $350. And then the most recent one, 87,230, and literally sold the bottom at 86,869. You can see on the chart here. Let's go to this chart here, actually. 86, what was it? 86,869. 86,869. Which I think it was on this candle right here. So almost nailed the bottom. And that wasn't because I have a sixth sense or a crystal ball. But, you know, I saw it reversing and the volume had dropped on from the previous red candle on the 15-minute. I think I was on the 30-minute actually. I was on the 15-minute. On the 15-minute time frame. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take my profit. And I've been saying this to all of you, and what we should be doing as a community, as a group, is taking profits early, okay? There's not nearly as much volume as we've seen in crypto, right? Bitcoin has seen billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, 10 billion, 100 billion in volume. And if you look on Coinbase, the volume has been 720 million. So fairly low volume, right? You still get the volatility, right? Like this volatility here from the low to the high. That's a 1.4% move. And if you're trading with size, that's a lot of a $10,000 position is $1,400. That's good money. And if you're using leverage, multiply that by your leverage and there you have it. And so what we should be doing, taking our profits early. And so my original TP level was 88,650. I saw it start to reverse. I got out at 88,869. Still made money. I'm happy. I ended up being right. It ended up going the opposite way or reversing from my short position. And we're back to square one. I don't have any open positions right now. Currently, actually, I do. I have one kind of a longer term open position. I got in. I bought a short of Bitcoin at like 89.8K on Bitunix, which, by the way, if you guys want to support the channel, we would highly appreciate it. There's a Bitunix account. There's a Bitunix link in the description of the video. So if you want to support the channel, they are doing some special giveaways. Also, if you go to our Discord, what? Oh, sorry. If you go to our Discord, the Bitunix team set up something pretty cool for you guys. So if you're not in our Discord, go join our Discord. It's free. If you go to our Discord, you click on VIP access. If you just sign up for a Bitunix account with this link and deposit $100, you'll receive $20. You can use the $100 to trade. You can just keep the $100 in there. I'm pretty sure you can just pull the $100 back out. Although if you're gonna put $100, just trade it. Try to 10x that thing to 1,000, and then take 1,000. Try to 10x that thing to 10,000, and take your 10, and so on and so forth. And so, if you want to support the channel, it's the best way to do so. It doesn't cost you any money. You put your own money to trade, and so yeah. Anyways, bias currently is, I think, bullish on Bitcoin. 15-minute time frame, a little bit of a W pattern here, which we should see this breakout. And so, if you're not familiar, W pattern, we're coming on a big sell-off, put in a local bottom, failed to retake the original high, which was up here at around 88,000. Come back for a double bottom and then a big move up into a bull flag, which is where we are right now. And that measured move, my friends, on this bull flag, and we can make some calculations here. We'll call it a bull flag, bull pennant, however this thing shapes up. We expect this thing to fill, and if it does fill to this point, we're looking at around 1 p.m. Local time, so about an hour from now. And the measured move here on a breakout, even if we took it from the very bottom here, you're looking at a price movement back up to $88,783 for Bitcoin. Now, please keep in mind, this is low time frame pattern trading, which could completely just get negated or go the complete opposite way. So just keep that in mind. It happens actually more often than not relative to what we see on the high time frame pattern trading. But this is what I'm expecting from Bitcoin, another push up, and it gives a little bit of confluence here with our VWAP 1 band at 88,371. I think macro-wise, obviously, the trend is down. You do still have this pretty nasty head and shoulders pattern here on BTC. In fact, let's go ahead and use our handy-dandy head and shoulders tool. So you can see this thing has already played out. Okay, this thing has already played out. We've gotten our retest. We've gotten the rejection off the retest of this head and shoulders pattern. We could come back and retest again. If it happens today, you're looking at a price move up to 91,978. Obviously, the further out you get, this is an ascending neckline. And so if you come get further out, you're looking at close to 94 to 95K. Macro-wise, I am bearish. Micro-wise, 15-minute and lower, I am a little more on the bullish side. And so I'm just looking to scalp both ways, right? When it comes to the Bitcoin chart, I go both ways. Only on the Bitcoin chart. Why did I say that? So bad. I'm happily married to a beautiful lady. What is wrong with me? It's the Friday vibes, baby. Shout out to Ashley, Capri Sun. Also, guys, if there's anything you want to take a look at chart-wise, please throw it in the chat. Would love to take a peek. Let's look at the crypto bubbles. We see some Santa hats. Well, is Santa going to come down the chimney with some presents that aren't red candles? I sure do hope so. We have some gainers on the day. Leo up 14%, Injective up 11%, Arbitrum up 11%, Filecoin up 14%, Pump.Fun up 6.5%. That's an interesting one. I'd be careful with Pump.Fun. There's I think it's a class action lawsuit currently pending on Pump.Fun. So just keep that in mind. And then the losers, Meme Core down, MYX, Mantle down, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is fairly in the green. Let's take a peek at an Ethereum chart here. Let's go ETH, kind of playing with that $3,000 level. I want to throw on my cloud. I want to get rid of market cipher here. I want to keep my VWAP lines. Let's zoom into the daily. Zoom out to the daily. Let's kind of clean up this chart here a little bit, and we'll take a look at some potential areas of ETH, whether it's where you're looking to buy or where you're looking to enter or exit a trade. You can identify some of those. That was ETH. Is ETH? Let's see if there's any bullish divergence on ETH here. Let's go bring this up. Or excuse me, no divergence here on ETH. Let's move this sucker back up. Later, bro. Kind of have this broadening wedge that's rising. And so you're seeing it's getting nice bids at the bottom end of this range, you guys. And so we should be looking to trade this 14%. This was its initial move was a 16% move. And where's this move going to be? A little bit of that's actually, I believe this is a very bullish pattern here. I forget what it's called, but this is a very bullish pattern. Lots of squiggly lines here. So you have a bearish, a bullish crossover here on the Ichimoku cloud on the daily, which is good. Let's take a look at what Market Cipher B is telling us. Market Cipher B setting up for a potential another trigger wave on the daily. We'll see once this candle closes in about 3 hours and 50 minutes, whether we do get that green dot in this momentum wave. If it does, it could be a signal to enter into a long on ETH. And I don't know. We have some resistance here. We have confluence with our 9-day, our 26-day, and a bottom end of our cloud on ETH, which currently sits at 31.11. And so just kind of think, is there room to make money on this trade right now on a long? I think my answer to that question right now is no. Right? This was a 5.5% move that we're currently in that we've missed. Now, we do have a little more room to run here before we hit that first level of resistance, which would be our 26th AMA at around 4%. But I think the better way to play this, guys, is for us to wait to see what ETH does at 31.11 on the daily time frame. Let's zoom into the 4-hour. See if the 4 hours showing any patterns. A little bit of reversal here as we hit our VWAP band at 29.85. ETH is seeing a little bit of a reversal. Let's check market cipher here on the 4-hour. Potential for a short trigger wave here on market cipher B. We still have this candle just open, so there's still some time left. Take a look on the 2-hour time frame on ETH. Momentum looks nice. Velocity to the upside. Can we take out this high here on the momentum wave? Right, you're looking at a 78 nominal figure, and we're sitting at around 45. 78.45. Can we beat that? If we do, there's some velocity and some momentum back to the upside. You can see on the 2-hour here. That's why I don't use the cloud as much as I used to, I guess. But it's still a great tool, and you can see how beautifully this thing gives you just some great support and resistance levels. To me, it looks like, and another thing I look at, guys, and we should be looking at is volume, right? Is the volume higher on the moves up than it is on the moves down? That's a good indication of kind of where the market is trending, if you should enter into a long or a short. But ETH is kind of at an inflection point. It's printing a doji candle here at the top end of the Ichimoku cloud. We haven't gotten a twist back to green yet, so this is still technically bearish. If I remove our VWAP lines, and we can see bullish crossover. That's usually our first indicator here. Our 9-day crosses above our 26-day moving average. We've officially taken out this high here on the 2-hour time frame. You can see how that was a bearish pattern. Large body green candle, doji, large body red candle, and then further after that candle printed, we saw on a 2.5% move to the downside. Versus on the daily, the reverse is true. Large green or large red body candle. We find a bottom here with a gravestone doji, and then a large, massive green candle that not only engulfed the previous dragonfly, but also engulfed the previous to those, the two ones, right? You had this long-legged doji here, this gravestone, or this is your gravestone, this is your dragonfly, and then your large-bodied red candle, and this candle, today's daily candle, has engulfed the 3 previous candles, which is very bullish. What we want to see here as well for sustained move to the upside is we want to see the volume surpass that of here, which was around 187,000 ETH. Okay. Top end of the range, if we do rotate back, that's a 15% move. But I want to see, I'm going to keep my eye on the 2-hour. Here's how we're going to trade the 2-hour, my friends. If you want to follow along, feel free to do so. Here's how I'm going to trade it. Is I'm waiting for a reclaim. See if we can take out this wick high here around 30.20 and enter on a retest. Okay? Retest sub 3,000. Okay? Sub 3,000, we get in on a ETH long. And we go back to the daily and we find our level of resistance of where we're going to take our profit. And my first level of TP, let's go ahead and just take a long position. Let's go here. Stop loss below this session's open. And we're going to put our TP. That's a 2-to-1 trade. I don't know if I like that. Let's take a peek here. No, I'm happy with a 2-to-1 trade. We have some, so this would take us to our 9-day MA, which currently sits at 30.50. This would be a 2-to-1 trade. If you want to make this a little better, you can bring your stop loss up to the open of this Dragonfly Doji here, which will give you around a 3.25 risk to reward trade on ETH. So enter at 29.86, get out at 29.65 on a stop loss, and take your profit around $3,033. Nice little 3.25 to 1 trade setup on Ethereum. That's if, it's a big if, that's if Bitcoin can continue to stay above $87,500. If Bitcoin can do that, I feel fairly confident that the scenario will play out for Ethereum. What do we have here? A little bit of a range here on Bitcoin. This range that we've been trading, guys, 85.5 to 89.6. There's going to be a break. And if we break to the upside, I just want to warn you guys, if we break to the upside, we're going back up to around 95 to 96.5K. If we get a break to the downside, you're going to get sub 80,000 Bitcoin. That's my personal opinion. I don't know if it'll for sure happen. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. My bet would be if we get a breakdown of this range, we're probably going down to sub 80K. Maybe it's that 77K. We get a large bid like we did last time, which would be very likely. Let's zoom out to the weekly here. Let's get rid of that. Let's hide these. Okay. So that would be the level that we're targeting on a bounce, my friends. And I'll drop a flag here so we can take a peek. 81.2, 83.275. Which is right below the range we're in right now. And so the way we should be playing this is if we get a break below, okay, if we lose this trend line, we're going to wait for this thing to find a bottom, come back, retest, and enter a short on the fail, bring this thing back down. And honestly, I would probably put my TP right around $63,050. That's if, no, this is going to be a short position. We're going to enter here. We're going to target this one. And we're going to set our stop loss just above that trend line. That's a almost a 7.5 to 1 trade setup on a Bitcoin short. If the scenario of losing this trend line plays out. Now, if the trend line doesn't get lost and we get a bounce, it gets a little more hairy in terms of when we enter and when we don't, right? When we enter or when we pass a trade. Let me get rid of these. And then we'll look at the scenario of if it does hold that trend line, what is the move? And so we've already seen a bounce, and sure, you could have bought the bounce and made 13%. But I want to see a bounce, and I want to see a closure above 90,300 on the weekly time frame. I'm going to drop a horizontal here. Let's go ahead and change this trend line to, let's go blue on this one. That's purple. Let's go blue on this one. We'll keep the other one yellow. And so for me, to go long on this, on a bounce off the trend line, I want to see price come back down, catch a bid, close above $90,800, come back and get a positive retest, enter in at 90.79K, and ride this thing up to this low here at around $100.47,000. If we map this out, 100.47, we get a really tight stop loss right below this trend line. And that's a 4 to 1 long trade. Now, obviously, there's a lot more potential for a short. It all depends. And this is on the weekly, so it might take a few weeks to figure out. That's on the macro. If you're more of a swing trader and you're okay staying in positions for a few weeks, keep your eye on these two trade setups. I've been trading more on the lower time frames. I've been looking to scalp more trades. I've been adding to my bag. My account was down to like 6K, and I brought it back up. It's at 10.5 now. Just kind of slowly scalping my way. $500, $600, $300. I've taken $200 profit trades. Slowly work your way back up, and next thing you know, you're at 20K. Your position sizes are a lot larger. Now you don't got to wait for a 1% move to make money. You can wait for a 0.25% move, which in low volatility, you're able to make money. All right. Raul said Miguel, or Raul. Raul said Link. You know, for me to say Link's been disappointing would be unfair because literally everything's been disappointing. Let's look at Link versus Bitcoin. Versus Bitcoin. Chain Link daily. From peak to trough, man, 42%. Now, that's actually not that bad relative to what we've seen from other altcoins. Why are Capri Sun so good? It's delicious. Thank you very much. So Link is down 42% against Bitcoin from its peak here in August of this year. It looks like it's finding its bottom here. And then we'll hop onto a Chainlink versus dollar chart. And each time Chainlink has been out here, you can see it's catching a bid right now. This is on the daily time frame. Let's go to Chainlink on versus the US dollar. We'll go up here. It's not macro. Let's go top 100. Chainlink, $12.60. I'm still a believer in this project. I still hold this project. I have not sold a single Link token. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. We'll keep the rest on. Let's throw on VWAP. Let's throw on cloud. No, not volume. Cloud. Let's stay on the daily and work our way down. As far as the trade setup, guys, $11.91 is a level that we should be longing here on Chainlink. I'll bring that horizontal back here. We'll call it $11.90. But we just got to be very careful because this kind of looks like the beginnings of... Okay, go away. This kind of looks like the beginnings of a potential head and shoulders pattern. So how will this play out? If I were to look at probabilities, I would say, from a probability standpoint, we come back and we don't take out this high from the left shoulder, which was around $13.57. That's also where your highest amount of trading happened. Buying and selling happened here. The largest amount, $13.56. We get rejected. We come back down. We see a small bounce here at around $11.90. Now, of course, I'm just using the information on the chart to kind of project what could potentially happen. And we ultimately lose the line depending on where Bitcoin is. Now, if Bitcoin all of a sudden reverses, it's over 100K, then forget about it, right? Then this shoulder should come out and take out this high here around $15, and then this pattern gets invalidated. Until then, this would be my base case is Chainlink comes up, fails to make a new high, right? And that new high would be $15. More than likely, it retests this previous high at $13.58, and we start trending down. We catch another small bid. We break below the neckline. We get a retest, and that is where we enter. At around 1180, no, won't enter a little bit lower. Around 1180. And if we take a look at, well, what are some key levels here on Chainlink that have held as support? Let me go ahead and drop this. Let's drop VWAP. Vertical line, go away. So there's a consolidation box here. Okay. That is $5.50 to $9. Okay. I'm sure we can find some other support levels for Chainlink if that trade does play out. $10.50. And so if we were to enter into this trade at 1179, I would put my initial TP at around $10.48. Probably take 75% out and then look to ride the rest of it down. And so for this one, let's go ahead and just kind of map this out. This would be our short. TP1 And let's bring our stop loss down. Just above 12 bucks. So TP1 gives us a 5.5 to 1 trade setup. TP2 gives us a 12 to 1 trade setup. And so for me, the way I'm going to be playing this, if this pattern does play out, we do get a breakdown of this head and shoulders. It's take around 50 to either 50 or 75% of my trade out at around $10.50 and take the rest out below $9, like just a smidge below $9 at around $8.98. And it sucks. And so people that are only holding spot, they don't want to hear that it's a bear trend, or maybe we are in a bear market. I don't think we are. Not until we lose like 78,000, which we may well. But in the meantime, guys, we should be focusing on how do we add to our bags? How do we find opportunities to make money? Because there's opportunities to make money in crypto every single day. And if you're willing to step out of the box of just buying and holding and diamond handing, you could grow your portfolios even in a bear market. Okay. All right. I got to cut the stream short today. I do have a meeting here in about 15 minutes. And so I just wanted to thank you guys all for tuning in. I'll kind of leave you with this. I know a lot of you are deflated. Emotions are running hot. Prices are down. You refresh your portfolio app and, well, what the hell happened? And you got to explain to your wife or your kids why Christmas this year, Santa is a little broker than he usually is. But let me tell you something, man. If you're in the right projects, if you do your due diligence, if you study the space and you don't let your emotions get in the way, you will be successful and you will make money. And so part of me doing these shows, even if it's 30 minutes, even if it's 15, 20 minutes, I just want to kind of give you guys, impart some of my wisdom, what I've seen in the markets. I've been in this space since 2016. I don't have a perfect track record. No one does. But I know more than the average person. I'm not saying I know more than you, but I know more than the average person. I'm trying to impart some of my knowledge and wisdom on you guys because you guys are the reason we do this show. I don't do this show for anything else except for the community, to produce content and to kind of help guide you guys and give you information that you can use to make money for yourself and make your lives better. So I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you back here on Monday. Until then, stay safe.